In this painting by Thomas Birch, the ships are moving and with swift wind behind them and in a very determined way towards their goal, a destination. And in the cloudy sky, you have this opening of light, which is almost like the divine heavens or their guiding light, almost like the eye of God in a sense, that are protecting their journey to the new world. In the work here by Asher Durand, you have two figures that are in a sublime landscape, and that was very popular in terms of romanticism at the time. But in America, it was particularly about the sublime and the grandness of nature versus man. And this is a very hopeful scene. The figures are rather small, but and then they're in the vastness of nature, but it shows promise. In this Albrecht Bierstadt painting, one of the great, brilliant, and genius American painters of our landscape, he is glorifying the landscape of the American West. This piece has a much more naive style, but it focuses on the westward ho concept of the pioneers moving out to the West, not knowing really what they're up against, but that they're guided by the symbolic spirit I guess, progress and, in a sense, kind of like the first painting we talked about, some divine aspiration in terms of personification. This painting is a very typical scene in an American town. It's almost generic in some sense. It's New England, but it could be any place within the U.S. where the community starts building, certainly around the church, which is the mainstay of any of the communities at that time. And the rolling hills, it's very idyllic, even though it has a naive quality to it. So it shows the style now incorporates an Art Deco feeling, the angular design quality. It's supposed to emulate the idea of Hollywood, which it does with the shine and the glitz and the glamour. Very famous Rosie the Riveter. And she is in a stance or a seated pose by Michelangelo, which Rockwell just reinvented to create this massive form of power and might and determination. And of course, Rosie is symbolic of how women had to take over men's jobs